They say when you live on top of earth, you have to make some noise and you have to make some sound. If you do not make some sound and if you do not make some noise, then it doesn't really taste up and spices up. The only time it spices up and tastes up when you make some noise and you make some sound. The more noise you make, the more sound you make, the more big of a spicer you are and the more big of a taster you are. I tried my best to make noise. Using my mic, the cock of mine, and as well as the mic's power box of mine. Then eventually went on to make some noise. By punching and kicking and kicking and punching the shit out of every grain and every drop of water, every river, every canal, every bridge, every road, every grain of sand. But I indeed failed to beat up any human being or any animal or any fishes or anything. The reason I couldn't do it because they do not relate to the earth, they are beyond the earth. Because I couldn't beat up any human being using my thunderous thunders, so I shifted and moved to my royal tankers and bunkers. And I used the bunkers and tankers and tankers and bunkers to shoot rifles and shoot pistols and throw grenades and launch rockets and missiles, and kept on firing, kept on firing, kept on firing until I engulfed the entire ball by making some noise, making some sound, by killing a human being using all sorts of rocket launchers and missiles and bullets and guns, as well as a weapon of mass destructions, such as big cylinder of atomic bombs and big cylinder of cylindrical nautical bombs and torpedoes and all sorts of atomic and nuclear weapons. I quench my thirst of killing every human and everything the ball earth is with, was with, and will be with. I quench my thirst of killing all 8 billion human beings, every animal, every plant, and everything the bowl is with. Soon I'm done with the quench of thirst of killing everything the ball is. Then I shifted the quench of thirst to beat the fuck out of every grain and every ain and every sane of this bullet. I'll make sure that everything of this bullet literally feels the grip of the highest supreme power and tearing and ripping and tearing apart every grain every aim, every bit of the bullet. As soon I was done with this, with the bullet, right from the core in the center of the bullet to the upper layers of the bullet, all the way to the highest spear of this bullet. Then I wanted to make some noise throughout the stay of 34 years of my life. Ever since 30th of March 1985. 34 years of my life, I wanted to make some noise in the heavens. And to make noise in the heavens, you need to be the heavenly self as well. As well as being the heavenly self, you have to be the earthly self, and the earthly self, and as well as the heavenly self. So I turned into the heavenly self and I made some noise over there. And I said, just the way these stars, they explode in billions and billions and billions of times and millions of times. Infinite number of times these big, giant, huge explosions happening within stars. An infinite number of noise happens within the empty space of the heavens. And they're making sound and noise by exploding, blow by blow, explode by explode, explosion by explosion, and with big giant supernova apocalypse, they're making big explosions and big noise over there. Make that same noise by myself alone. So I started to make noise in the heavens and I started to bombard big giant supernova explosions, billions and billions and trillions, an infinite number of times in the heavens, just to make some sound in the heavens. Then came back to earth and I said, the heavenly sounds I've been doing over there in the heavens, if one of these big giant sound happens over here on top of the earth, then forget about the whole explosion of it. It's just a tiny little fart. And forget about the tiniest fart, and it's just one tiny little drop sound of that tiny little fart. If that happens to this earth, then the whole earth is just going to blow apart into pieces. This is how deadly those explosions are. Especially I'm talking about those heavenly explosions. You could imagine. It is so big, the supernova explosion is the size of this earth. Millions and millions of times larger than this ball earth. This is how big just one explosion of the star is. Ooh. And then I said, a mega scale explosion at that grand level. It is totally going to give fatality to this ball earth beyond any measure, any concern, or anything whatsoever. Nothing can imagine how big of a massive collision that is and how big of a massive devastation that is. There is no language to explain, there is no word to explain.